Hello everyone, I am Lavanya. Now I am going to explain you about what is a closure and what is the implementation of the closure. And a close in a JavaScript, a closure is a function that retains access to its scoper even after the outer function has finished its execution. And closure allows you to encapsulate the variables and functions within a scope. And here is the code which implements the closure, and we can see here outer create counter, which is a outer function. And in this we have created a counter variable also. When you call a outer function, it's written a inner function here. We can see here in return function. And at a point, a closure is formed because inner function remains the variable count in its outer scope, even that outer function has already finished it. And we can see here a counter count closer here. And every time when you call a closer, it acts as a count variable within its scope of the outer function. Here we can see we have called the counter three times here, 1, 2, and 3, and it will incremented by three times here. And we can see how it's worked now. When we created a function here, create counter, it calls the private variable count. Here we have initializes the variable let count equals to 0, and here returning the inner function which is created by the counter create counter, and it is accessed by the count because it is a same scope where the count is defined here. And here we are consoling it as a current count by count. Here when we call here counter, it will count by here, it will return here. And the main concepts here is closer keep scope alive, and the practical uses of the closures when these will encapsulate the variables together, which memorizes or catching the results. Even it handles the callback functions also. And the closures are the fundamental concepts in the JavaScript, which are widely used in the modern development, especially in functional programming. And now a callback function. Here, the callback function is a function that is passed by an argument in an another argument, and that is executed after some operation which is completed. And here, the callbacks are often used for asynchronous programming, such as reading files and making APIs, etc., and handling the events in the JavaScript also. When we passing a function as an argument, a function key can accept another function as a parameter and execute it inside. And by using these asynchronous operations, callbacks are particularly useful in scenarios like timers, event listeners, and APIs also. And in this code, we can call here perform task and pass the task completed as the callback, which is a clean the room. Here, in the function perform task, it accepts the two parameters as a task name and the callback, and calls the callback function after the message is logged. And here in the function, when the task is completed, it will return the task is completed, which is calling the perform tasks. When the task function is completed, it is passed as a callback to perform task. When the perform task finishes the login, it calls the task completed. And in this callback function, when the task is completed, ensures that an additional action is executed after the main task. And callbacks helps in defining what should happen next in an organized manner. And coming to the promises in JavaScript, in mainly the promises in the JavaScript we know as async and await. And these promises will handle the asynchronous operations more easily than closures. Then a promise represents a value which may be available now or in the future or never. It is used to handle the asynchronous operations like APIs, callbacks, and are also timings also. And here we have used the async function, which means a function returns a promise. And these await is used inside the async function to wait for a promise to resolve or reject the promises which we have or conditions which we used here. And the it here it is we used await fetch data. Here fetch data returns a promise that resolves after 2 seconds. And get data, the get data is a async function that awaits to wait for the fetch data to resolve and then logs the result. And this approach will write the asynchronous code in a more readable and synchronous like a manner. And these async keyword makes the function to return a promise, allowing it to use the await keyword within it. And here I have created a to-do list based upon these async, await, and closer and callback function. Uh, so in this, which provides the functionalities to add the organize and display the task based on the dates and use. In here we have used a closer to encapsulate the all the to-do list variables or all the list in which we have included in our code. And first function we have used here is to-do list, which we this means this is the main function. And we have a private variable all here, and it is not accessible directly outside the to-do list function. In its inner function, functions are add as a add and mark as complete and overdue here, due today and the due later, which will be displaying here. And mark as complete index, which marks as a task that is given index in all the arrays as completed. And overdue, it filters all tasks in all and whose due date is earlier than today and have not been completed. చేస్తున్నారా And we have creating an instance of the function. The function is called a create an instance of the to-do list. And here there is a helper function which is the formatted date here. And these formats a date object due to a string representation in the form of year, month, and day. So days yesterday, today, and tomorrow, which we have setting here. It will due date yesterday means the task which we have to be completed in the yesterday, and the task which we have to be completed within today, and the remaining task which we have to be completed tomorrow or day before day after tomorrow. And here we can adding the tasks here like a practicing code and organizing the study materials, etc. And this is the code which I have written for the overdue, displaying task. It filters the due dates earlier than today. And due today task, the task which we have to be completed within the today. And due later day will gives the task which we have to be completed day after tomorrow or tomorrow itself. And here we have used the clauses and higher order functions and functional programming and separations for this is a code for the to-do list. And now we can implement this code. So here we can see here the oh my to-do list and overdue here already completed. So we can see here and the date which is in the format of year, month, and day. And here in the due in the today, which one of it is completed and another is not completed. So later day is also we have organized it. So thank you.